Hello, welcome to this section. I'm Felix from Palo Alto Networks. In this section, we will explore how AI is used in the cyber battlefield. So we'll also take a look at the threats that we will face and the risks that we have to be aware of. And also, we want to talk about the, how we can make use of AI on the defense side, right? So,
hello, everyone. Welcome to our session.
Who are you?
I'm you. Don't you recognize yourself?
Well, yeah, but you're a cartoon version of me. And also, your sound is different from mine. What happened to you?
Yes, you are right. Because I can mimic anyone's voice I like. Can you do that?
No, I don't. But why would I need to do that?
I'm here because I can do a better job than you. I've just proved that, haven't I? I can mimic anyone's voice, but you can't. Now you're fired.
You're so funny. And I think you forgot who is in control here. I have the clicker. See?
No, don't press the clicker.
So this is just for fun. Is it kind of a deep fake that we are talking about? Not so deep because it's not showing my actual face. It's a cartoon version. But I think you get the idea, right? The AI is helping us to improve our productivity, right? My team is doing that for me, I think, in just an hour. Imagine if we do not have that kind of tools available for us. It takes months for us to learn how to use those editing software in order to achieve the same thing. So ever since ChatGPT went viral earlier this year, it appears in all the headlines. And as a normal user, of course, I'm very eager to try, right? I think many of you are also have tried ChatGPT to do things for you. So what are the typical use cases, right? I think these are the most common use cases that we can make use GPT to do things for us. Content generation, to generate email based on certain input to reply some emails. And for myself, as a non-English speaking person, I use it very often to help me to touch up my writings, to check my grammars, to make it looking more professional. So as many of us are using the tools, are we aware of all the risks that we are actually facing? The top one, I think the top one would be the response that we got. Are those response actually trustable? I think you guys has already heard about a lot of situations where the response from the ChatGPT making us look like the ChatGPT is suffering from hallucination, right? It makes up certain things. And as we are using the tools more and more, and we trust it more and more, sometimes we may input certain very sensitive information into the system, which may lead to some sensitive information leakage issues. And from the attacker side, it's actually an opportunity for them because as the tools, these kind of tools is getting more and more popular, they see it as an opportunity to create certain fake applications, fake websites, to fool the users to connect to their own application. And as a result, the user may become the victim of some malware attack. So how about as an organization, if we try to make use of AI to improve our platforms, to improve our user experience, things like that? This is a list from the Alpha Top 10 for LLM application publications. Roughly, we can categorize them into three categories. On your left-hand side, it's pretty much like what we are facing for web application, right? If we do not check the inputs from the user carefully, we are suspect to attacks like code injection, command injection, which may lead to compromise of the application itself or the underlying infrastructure. And also, with the combined injection attack, the attacker may collect certain sensitive information from within our system. In addition to sensitive information leakage, if we are not careful enough, the attacker may be even able to steal the very precious AI models, which is the key differentiator from what we can offer from the other platform, right? And last but not the least is application visibility and availability, right? These are the things that may affect the availability of the system, or we have to remind ourselves whether we should trust the AI application so much, even if it produces a very reliable result for us. Because if we rely on it too much, it may take action for us without letting us know. So we may have to strike the balance here. So how are the attackers, right? I think attackers is just like us. They are human. They want to make use of good tools to help them to do their job. So if you have paid attention to all these phishing emails that you received recently, it may look different from what we got a year or two back. At that time, it's very easy for us to identify phishing email because there are lots of grammatical mistakes, lots of spelling errors. But now, with the help of the AI tools, the attacker can actually create a very authentic-looking phishing email, fooling the users to actually clicking on the links and being attacked. Also, the programming. On the programming side, we can use the generative AI tools to help us to generate code, right? Which makes it a lot easier for people to develop certain malicious applications. In some situations, we even found that the attacker is actually using this kind of technology to generate dynamic code in runtime, such that the defense system can be evaded pretty easily if we do not enhance our own defense system. And apart from AI being used by the attacker, they are also trying to scale the attack, right? Because this is how they earn money. To make their attack more efficient, they will make use of mechanisms like the software subtracting attack to target certain popular application. Once it is compromised and their users has downloaded that application, all the users is becoming the victim. And at that moment, the attacker will have the access to a lot of a very large-scale infrastructure to help them to further to perform the attack further. And in order to make things faster, make things more effective, attackers are now focusing on how to leverage several vulnerabilities together to increase the success rate. So just like what I highlighted previously, the risks that highlighted by Alpha Top 10 LLM application is actually some new ways for the attacker to target. I mean, new area for the attacker to target for. And then also, as I demonstrated at the beginning of the presentation, impersonation, right? Deepfake is also a way for the attacker to perform certain targeted attacks, like social engineering. So now we understand what risks we have to be aware of, what kind of threats that we have to face, and what the attacker is doing. So we need to ask ourselves, are we playing a fair game? If it is not, how do we level the playing field? So in cybersecurity, we are we have some very fundamental things we always have to do. And those are very effective ways for us to fight against the attacker. The first thing is visibility. We have a saying that we cannot protect what we can't see, right? So visibility is a very, very key thing. But now, as the environment is getting more and more complex, our software, our application, our workload can be existing in the on-premise data center and also in the cloud. And we're also subscribing a different kind of a SaaS application. So visibility is very important to have the visibility across all environments. And we also have to know what kind of service that our user is using. Once we have that kind of information, then we have to work on it continuously to identify if there is any vulnerabilities in all those environments. On top of that, attack surface is also one very key area that we have to keep on exploring to see if there is anything that is actually representing our company, but we are not aware of it. So we got to have certain ways to find out those kind of resources. And the last one, automation and AI, of course. With all these events, attack happening, and at an increasing trend, we can no longer perform our job manually, relying totally on human. We got to automate things. So how can we do that? First of all, to increase our visibility on our, for example, what kind of application, what kind of traffic our user is generating, we can have a security platform deployed in between the services and the users. So in this layer, we have a comprehensive security surface, including all the typical security solutions that we will be using, like IPS, IDS, malware analysis, web proxy, web filtering, things like that. So once we have this platform, we can rely on it to provide a very clear visibility of what is going on in our environment. So let me use an example that I discussed earlier. When a user is using a generative AI tools to do their job, is there a chance for private data, secret information leakage? So what you can see on the right-hand side is actually a zoom-in view of some of the elements in this layer to help me to solve our problem. First of all, application identification. It helps me to identify whether the application the user is using is actually allowed in our company, in our policy. So if it is not allowed, we can actually block it right away. If it is allowed, then the next question is whether it's actually a legitimate application. Is it an application or website that is actually provided by an attacker, mimicking the legitimate application? We can leverage the web filtering, DNS security, and CASB combined together to help us to decide whether this is an actual application the user should use. So if everything is OK, then the next question we have to ask is, when the user is submitting the information into the system, whether it contains any sensitive information. So DLP solution can help us to do that. So with this model, we are pretty safe that whenever the end user is located, and also wherever the service is located, we will always have a very clear picture whether anything wrong is happening in our environment. For application running on the private cloud or public cloud, which may be susceptible to attacks like combined injection, code injection that I highlighted earlier, So we can leverage some other tools like CWPP, CNAP, to protect our application from being able to attacked by those methods. Last but not the least is our endpoints, right? If for any reason the attackers can slip through all the security measures that we deployed, we still have to have certain ways to detect it and to respond to it. So this is the complete picture of what we can protect our environment, no matter where the application is on, and no matter where the user is located. So, but it is still not enough if you think about it carefully. So far, what we are talking about is mostly from the inside, right? We know what we have to protect. We know by the visibility piece, we know what we have. So there is always something that we don't know. Imagine if you have a user using the company email to sign up for certain SaaS application and put certain company resources on that environment. Do you know it, right? This is actually something that we have to keep an eye on and have to rely on a solution like attack surface management to help us to identify whether there's such a problem or not. So as a cyber defender, whether we like it or not, we have to rely on logs, right? We have to collect as much logs as possible in order for us to understand if there is something that slips through all the protection mechanism. So as the environment is getting more and more complex, and as we are adopting a lot more and more services, the events generated by all the system collected may be huge, can be billions, right, in terms of billions. So, but just looking at those events individually, there's no meaning, right? Because if every single event may look okay, may look normal, but if we combine different events together, there may be some indication of some new attacks is happening in our environment. So we have to do correlation, right? Is it possible for us to do it manually? No, of course not, because we are facing a billion of events. So we got to introduce new technology to help us to automate it, to also help us to detect something that is actually unknown to the whole world, basically the zero-day attacks. So if you ask yourself whether you have been trying to avoid the workload on spending time on those billions of events by either reducing the data source or by simply ignoring them, think maybe it's time for you to rethink how you should run your security operations center. So we don't have too much time here, but what I want to remember a new term, possibly a new term for you guys, XIM, which stands for Extended Security Intelligence and Automation Management System. So with this new platform, all the logs ingested will be correlated automatically using AI, which can help you to reduce the things that you have to pay attention to from billions to hundreds. And within these hundreds of alerts, it will also try to help you to handle it automatically, such that your SecOps staff will only have to really handle very critical things, and also something that is higher value. For example, threat hunting, right? So Palo Alto Networks is offering this AI-powered zero trust security platforms for you, and at the very core of these platforms, we leverage AI, of course. And what's the outcome for you? Right? What's the benefit for you when you use this kind of a solution? So it's safer, obviously, because we can stop more day zero attacks. It's offered from the cloud, so the availability is 5 nines, and we can detect and respond to threats a lot faster than before. So talking about AIs, it's also mentioned by some of the previous presenters that data is a key for the successful AI. So just to give you a perspective of how much data that we are getting from our customer. So every day we are having 750 million events from our customer, and we are detecting 1.5 million of attacks every day. And each day we help our customer to block 8.6 billion attacks. So I hope this data gives you some idea of how much data we are seeing, and this helps us to improve our AI model continuously. So to close my section, I just also want to give you some confidence about our experience in AI. Right? We talk about AI because of ChatGPT being popular just about a year ago, right? In fact, we have been using AIs slightly more than 10 years, right? Starting with our malware analysis engine. And as we are building up our complete portfolio in our security platform, every single element is relying on machine learning and AI. So rest assured that this is by far one of the most advanced systems that we can offer. And we help, as you can see the data on the previous slide, we help a customer to stop malware, a lot of attacks every day. Okay, thank you for your time. If you are interested in all this information, please go to our booth. Thank you.